in one way, in a devotee perspective, devotees, like I always say, they perceived the world differently. And for other people, they perceive the world opposite to that. So let's look at it from a devotee perspective. The devotee perceived the grace of the Guru and God in their life at all times. So they made a relationship that everything happened through grace. Without grace, nothing happened. Especially when you are aware of kripa. That kripa means grace, which Guru and God give to one which is ready. And of course, from the devotee point of view, everything is in the hand of Guru and God. And of course, whatever happened, they will perceive that blessing into that. And of course, a devotee, they don't see things in a negative way. They see it in a positive way. So even if something happened that they can't handle, they know that behind that there is a deeper understanding, a deeper learning. Of course, life is a learning process. Until you go out of that cycle of birth and death, until you rise above that, of course it is a learning process. And from a devotee point of view, they perceived the grace of God in everything, which is wonderful. And this is a grace which not everybody have. That's why they say that, yes, whatever happened, it could have happened worse. Because they know there is worse thing than that. Logically, even the mundane people know about that. But logically, yes, there is worse thing than that. But because they are protected by a certain grace, maybe they feel it also, that something have to go through, one have to go through that. But yet the divine is standing by them. Of course, then they praise the Guru and God, grace with them. So in that context, yes, Guru and God, the grace is amazing with the devotee. What a blessing it is. Very often people don't realize that. But those who have experienced that, but in their life, they know their life before, they know the life when they have that grace of Guru and God with them. What is the different? When you look at your life itself, you see the different. When you were standing into the world not knowing that they were there with you, and when you stand now into the spiritual field, that you know that they are with you. So you can see the difference between the two itself. So it is the right attitude to always be reminded that Guru, the grace of Guru first is always with you. And through the grace of Guru, you have the grace of Bhagwan himself. And what come to my mind, how Guru protect, it's amazing. There was a saint, actually, by the name of Sahaja Bai, Sahajabai, I think, I'm not so sure about the name, but it's such a beautiful story, actually. She was one day standing in front of her house, a small hut. She was in a different bhav, and different mood inside of her. As she was in that mood, Bhagwan, Lord Panduranga, appeared to her. But she didn't give much attention to him. And it was strange, because when Bhagwan appeared very often, the people will be excited. Yeah, Sahajabai, she didn't have any reaction. So Bhagwan was wondering, Sahaja, what's wrong with you? Everybody is very happy to see me, but why are you still in a say, Shanta Bhav, which means very stern and show no excitement, And so Sahaja said to Bhagwan, look, I have my Sadguru, and I was not. It's not that I don't respect you. I respect very much, But you are there. You have come by your own will, And but I would love really to perceive Paramatma Tattva, which means the ultimate Tattva, as my Sadguru itself. So seeing that bhav of Sahaja, and Bhagwan was so happy to see how dedicated and surrendered Sahaja was on her path and her dedications, firstly, to her Guru. And it is because of that dedication itself, that's why Bhagwan have manifest himself without her willing, without her asking Bhagwan to appear, just like that, because of her service to her Guru, that Bhagwan have come. And just to test her more, her devotion to her Guru, Bhagwan said to her, to Sahaja, would you not let me inside, and inside your hut? So then Sahaja said, well, I will let you in, but there is only one asan in my hut, and that asan is where my Sadguru sit. If you don't mind sitting down on the floor, you are most welcome. And Bhagwan was even more delighted, so he went inside and sat down on the floor. Then he said, please ask me something, because everybody, they come to me, they ask me something. They all, whenever I go appear, also I always want to give something to them. And Sahaja said, what will I ask you? I don't have any desire in this life. So Bhagwan said, but please ask something. Sometimes Bhagwan is very stubborn, So as she said, okay, if you are insisting, I will tell you something. I have my Sadguru. If I wanted to ask him about you, he will give you to me. And that's what he does normally. He gave Bhagwan, he gave you as dhan, which means he gave you as offering to the devotee which is worthy. So those worthy devotees, they receive you as dhan. So he can give you as dhan. Then he asked Bhagwan, who is more great? You, Deva, or dhan itself? So the Deva is, the Lord said, but was very happy to see this devotion, and said, as you really want to do something, you have to understand, by Sadguru, you as Bhagwan, you give problem to the people. You give them worry, you give them problem, you give them illnesses, you give them pain, and suffering. But the Sadguru is merciful. He remove all what you give. You give suffering, he come to remove all the suffering. You give endless life, he remove them from the cycle of life and death. Bhagwan was even more joyful and more happy. Said, I will do whatever you ask me. Please ask me something. Said, okay, fine. I will serve my Sadguru, and I would like you to fan him while he's eating. And this is what Bhagwan does, and start fanning, the Sadguru. So this is one of the stories that we see, that when one have devotion, really, even the most impossible things become possible. How much you are surrender to the feet of the Guru, Bhagwan also will show that much of surrender. So coming to your question, but you ask, about about the explanation whether when something happened, whether the grace of Guru is there. Yes, with the devotee who have taken shelter to the feet of the Guru, they have that grace with them. That's why you have to take shelter. No? So even the most things which terrible things which are meant to happen, Guru can change it. So surrender to the feet of the Master with love and devotion. Let your mind be upon the feet of the Master. So then you will experience sincerely, when you, as much you are sincere in your spiritual path, then you will experience that grace which Guru and God have given to you.